Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Fightful Sour Grapes Tuesday thing.
It's the Sour Grapes post show for Tuesday, February 20th. Welcome aboard, SGS. We are 500 plus episodes in on the paywall version of this. Lord knows how many on the free version of this. But we ask you to get in those super chats and those humper chats at humperchats.com for all your humper chatting needs. We also ask you to leave a thumbs up on this video if you would be so kind. Helps people find us in the algorithm. And more importantly, we ask you to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com because, first of all, like 12,000 other people have, and if you're not subscribed, you should be so embarrassed.
Yeah, you should.
Honestly, normally I'm like, we appreciate the support. It goes a long way. It's how we get like, it's on you at this point, honest to God. And now with Fightful Select, you can also join the Discord if you want to be a part of the exclusive club. But plenty of breaking news back behind the paywall. Lots of contract news coming up. We've obviously got Elimination Chamber on the horizon, so there's always news coming out of pay-per-views. They're paleys now, but it was cuter sounding.
Yeah, you could even sing it. There's always news coming out of pay-per-views.
But Alex, today is not about musicals. Today is about action movies.
Yes, it is. So action crime thrillers, preferably from the heyday of the 80s and 90s, but whatever. That's your puns. Because Dijak is starring in an action crime thriller. He doesn't know it, but I've wrote a full script for it, and I'm going to be reading from it later tonight. Just the treatment part of it. Just the synopsis. I wrote a full synopsis.
It should just be called Ratio.
The name of it is Hard Rain, but rain is spelled REIGN. Because it doesn't mean anything. But that's an 80s, 90s cop thriller for you. So that's what we're doing. And it'll be fun. I hope.
I love our chat so much. I just sneezed, and everybody in the chat's like, "Bless you, Kate. Thank you."
Yeah, no.
Thank you, wonderful chatters.
The only reason I didn't do it is because I knew you were all gonna do it for me, and I don't want to mess the whole thing up. So,
sure. Wouldn't be the first time you hurt my feelings to speak, but whatever.
So the big deal that came out of last week, and we had Corey Brennan on here last week to talk about it, is that Shotsy tore her ACL.
Yes.
During the match, and they filmed another thing afterwards. They did an open challenge, and Lash Legend came out, and they finished the night, and that was it. But they also said they filmed an angle, which they showed us, which I honestly enjoyed.
It's pretty good.
But it is very odd. The amount of just not like so they filmed this last week, and Shotsy got hurt last Tuesday during a filming of a taped episode that was going to air tonight. And she was scheduled to wrestle on Friday.
Correct.
In a qualifying match that she would have lost anyway, but a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. And so they had the Elimination Chamber. Excuse me.
Thank you.
And so they had Nick Aldis say she's not medically cleared. Not, as you all know, Shotsy badly injured herself and will be out of action for 9 months. Just, she's not medically cleared. In the most just straight up, generic, vague way possible. And then they kept all day on Twitter promoting the big Lyra Valkyria versus Shotzi match, where Shotsy was on Instagram today saying, I tore my ACL, I'll be out for 9 months, and they're still right next to each other was a tweet showing her Instagram post, and below it was NXT being like, tune in tonight for the big match. And I'm like, Shotsy either needs to not post that until tomorrow, or they need to just come out and be straight with it, because it's very odd. There's such weird dissonance there, and it's like they don't expect us to notice it and think, well, that's odd.
Yeah, so reiterating what we said last week, just that our healing thoughts go out to
for
Shotsy.
sure.
It's gonna be
And
like
and having seen it, what a freak,
oof.
ridiculous. Like, there's zero chance that could have injured anybody, and yet it did.
Just one of those it's wrestling things, which sucks. Not that there's ever a fun way to get injured, but just like how.
Yeah.
So just reiterating that, and then on top of that, yeah, their timelines have been a little all over the place. They even the the angle that they set up on Raw last night for this Friday's match with Tiffany Stratton, you pointed out. I guess that one that they already taped, because we do have these taped episodes going into Perth. But it's not like it wasn't somebody else at the Performance Center. It was like Shotsy had put up her own heartfelt message about her own surgery. But they still wanted to, I get it, but it's been chaotic. So, and it's been a whole week gap. You know what I mean? So there was like time to adjust to it, but so yeah, that was a little weird, because even in the rundown for this show, like, we didn't include the Shotsy part of it because we knew.
Right.
So, but all that to say that that's such a bummer for Shots, and there's just like a weird MCL bug going around the Performance Center with these four wrestlers. And I'm not going to sit here, and I know there's people who are like, well, they need to train that. We're not physical therapists and all that shit. Like, wrestling is wrestling.
Certainly this one did not. There's no amount of training that can.
No, this was so weird.
This was such a freak thing. Orion Ben says, hi, SGS, posting this early because I couldn't look at the Shotzi injury. If you were looking, you would not have seen it. If she did not, you watch injuries and go, oh, that looked bad. If she hadn't fallen over and clutched her knee, and because of the nature of it, and because we are inured to the wrestlers who land too hard on their feet and then go, ow, my knee, and they're always fine. Because of that, and because this PC crowd just saw a much more violent injury, the one to Dragonov, be a worked injury, they were understandably like, well, this is an angle. They're going to do something here because this is obviously an angle. Nothing happened. She jumped off of the apron, straight down, and landed on both feet. So it wasn't a gruesome injury at all. It was not like the thing that happened to Charlotte or anything else when you've seen like, oh, that got twisted. What happened to Indy in that one match where you could see her leg twist underneath her? Nothing like that happened. That was such a weird thing for it to actually watch it. There's no way you would be able to see it. That's why with all of wrestling, injuries just happen in ways you can't possibly predict.
Just a quick note in the chat too. I understand that there is a match between Maki Ito and Minoru Suzuki that has been made. Please don't use like RIP language, or someone's gonna K language.
No.
Or has language, because that makes me Google things and get very, very nervous and sad and scared. So just please avoid that. But yeah, that's an insane thing. But yeah, so wrestling is just wrestling, man. Just one of those spots.
Ben continues, here's hoping Shotzi heals well. One of the nicest wrestlers I've met IRL. Otherwise, an okay show. Lash and Beej really looking light years better in the ring. And the Dawn of the Table. We will get to all of that. We will get to all of that for sure.
We got to talk about the empty espresso cup. I was so distracted by how empty it was. It was such a good segment, and then when he went to put the espresso cup down, I was like, "There's nothing in there."
I don't know. I'm thinking. Okay, well, we'll have to find out during the first ad read. I will be finding out something. That is all I will say.
Ad read available.
Good, great. Anyway, make sure you play it before that segment. Okay. So, Jaden Pringle says, "Amazing Alex, Cosmic Kate, Proud Papa Elizabeth, Sisters." Luis and all the SGS. Someone just 502 today. I believe that's a typo. Are you talking about this is the 502nd episode? It's not. because these do not count on the 500. I have no idea how many NXT ones have been, but it's not part of the thing. But thank you. Happy Insane Accomplishment Day. Yes, thank you very much, JW.
Thank you so much. That's so sweet. Yeah, that's almost even crazier that these don't count toward the 500 total.
Yeah. I don't. Well, how many years? I don't know. So Tom LaValle brings something up, and this is the elephant in the room. And I think we're gonna have to address this, at least on our end. Tom LaValle says, "Happy Tuesday. The Discord wars have begun." Let me tell you something, Sean Ross Sapp. Okay.
Let me tell you, brother.
Don't try to horn in on our thing. We've had the Discord for the Sour Grap Society for months now, maybe even over a year, and it has been going really well. He saw how great it's doing for us. He wants to horn in on our business. And I guess he's our boss, so he can, but like...
You know what, though? Like, the only way for him to resolve this is for him to send me to Prestige to see a card with Mustafa Ali, Zack Sabre Jr., Kevin Blackwood, and Trish Adora on it. That's the only way he can make it right with me, is to send me first class.
And the only way he can make it right for me is just money. Just cold, hard cash.
See?
Small, unmarked bills in a manila envelope.
I would also like that. I would like to double mine.
Yeah.
I want that too.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, so apparently there's going to be a FIFO. I guess there already is a FIFO Select Discord.
Because you
must belong to FIFO Select. Now, you do not have to belong to FIFO Select to be in the Sour Graps Discord. Just letting you know that. That's not a thing. Although all the other stuff is there as well. But I'm just letting you know, in case you're not part of FIFO Select, but you want to be on Discord thing, you want to do some Discord, because kids on Discord are cool. You can be on ours without being the thing. Just saying.
It's true.
That's all I'm saying.
Didn't we not even start ours? Didn't somebody else start it?
No, somebody else was like, no, we should do it, and I was like, yes, we should. And then they made it. It was great. So
that rules.
Greetings, SGS. Everything sucks except our super team Kalex, our super mod Luis, the super sisters, and the most super SGSer, JW Pringle. So true.
Oh yeah,
so
Dad.
True.
Sean pays for the contractor to finish the brick wall in the basement.
Just that one wall. No, none of the other walls. Just that one wall.
See, we're very reasonable. I want a flight and a hotel stay to Portland once.
Yep.
You want one wall done.
That's right. Okay.
These are our terms, Jonathan.
Here's my terms. Obafemi should take less offense from people. He just should. I do appreciate him winning, but I don't appreciate the reason that he won is because Lexis King got distracted by a man in a suit.
Listen, sometimes it's easy to get distracted by men in suits. Okay,
but not that man. Not Robert Stone.
No, not Robert Stone. So
not Robert Stone.
Obafemi rules though. Thank God.
Great.
This was a great way to start the show. This should have been the show. Should have just been Obafemi. It should have been a gauntlet episode where it's just Obafemi facing anybody else who wants to come out.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, this was tricky because I felt like Obafemi still looked dominant, but of course, because this is the way they book things and it's not to my liking here.
Something that is, go ahead, you finish.
Yeah, I think that like Lexis King is also supposed to feel important on this program, so it's not like he could just kind of like yeet him in 5 seconds because they want us to believe that he's important even though he doesn't have the wins to back that up. So I get why they did what they did because it correlates with their philosophy. I just don't really like their philosophy all that much. And I think that if Cody gets to smash the throne, Obafemi should get to smash the slidey chair. That's my thoughts.
Oh, very good. But you should do it with his bare hands. You should pick it up and rip it apart.
Yeah, just if he can shot put a fucking couch.
Yes. Well, that's what he should shot put the chair. That's what he should do. So during the match, it is shown Robert Stone and Von Wagner watching the match on the TV.
No, it's not worth it.
No, and that's what he says. But for a second there, I was like, "Oh no, are they building Von Wagner versus Obafemi?"
I I had a thought too, and then I was
And then I remembered. Oh no, they're doing a thing with Lexis King, and Stone's like, "I'll be right back." Where are you going? Out there. Stone, no, I told you it's not worth it. And he just stands there. He doesn't do anything. And then Stone doesn't do anything either. He just walks to like 2/3 of the way down the ramp and stands there with his hands on his hips. Oh, I'm so mad at you, Lexis King. And that's it. Like that's all. That's all they did.
If that's enough to get the job done,
I guess.
Why would you exert more effort if it's giving walkaway spot? Why would I do more when I can do less?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
But also, you're dumb if someone's appearance 2/3 of the way down the ramp is enough for you to be distracted and lose a match. Especially when you're in there with Obafemi. Like, you should probably be pretty locked in because Obafemi's the best.
Yeah. Oba, the thing about Oba that I think is interesting that they're doing, and I hope it's also his call. They're like telling everybody who fights him, I want you to hit this man as hard as you can. Because like the slaps and chops and everything that Lexis was throwing, and it was just like, he just kept coming back, which is cool. But basically you can throw everything you want to at this guy. He's going to hit you with one clothesline and a power bomb, and you're done. And I think that's kind of cool, but I feel like less of the stuff that you throw at him. He should hit you with the clothesline and the power bomb 4 minutes into the match and not 8 minutes into the match, because that helps to make him look better too. And especially if you're going to have Lexis King be cost the match because distraction, that could happen 3 minutes into the match and he's still protected the same amount as if it's 8 minutes into the match. So
here's a fun little lesson about young Kate. Young Kate had a bit of a temper and was a little stubborn. And because she has parents that love her, they got her those, I don't know if you remember these, those punching bags with like Disney characters' faces on them. And you just like punch them and they would pop back up. They were inflatable.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of like, I was getting that from Obafemi today, of just the like, I'm popping back up every single time. Young Kate took down many a Disney character in her day, but it was the same thing of just kind of that, like, I liked that it was almost felt very like Rocky-ish, like the coming back of it all. Obafemi's great. I also like something that they never do on the show that they're doing with Obafemi is he's not he's kind of like Gunther in that like he's just dominant, unbeatable so far. Like he's not super face or super heel. He was a little bit more heel against Dragon Lee because it's Dragon Lee and you had a David and Goliath thing. But like it doesn't feel, would you say something like send me whoever you want, just don't send me anyone that you want back? Like that to me does not feel like I am cartoonishly a bad guy or I am a good guy and I will be an underdog somehow. Like it's very nice and refreshing to have that on this program because we never get that on this program. And right now that's where Obafemi should be sitting. Like Dragon Lee, super face. Lexis King was a heel. Obafemi is just a champion who is defending his title. That is a presentation that I very much appreciate. Obafemi rules. Don't change a key thing. Be champion forever.
Forever and ever.
Of every title.
Of every title.
24/7 Divas champion Obafemi.
So, okay. Backstage. Thea Hale is sitting there with Jacy Jayne, who I know.
Yeah.
And there's a girl sitting next to her, and I don't know who she is. And I feel like they need to do a better job of introducing these new characters. Like there should be, I don't know, 6-7 weeks of vignettes because I don't know who this character is. And I feel like I don't know. I don't even like, I guess I could Google it, but I don't even have a name to Google. They find out later what her name is, but I didn't even have a name to Google, but she's standing there. I don't know who she is. I feel like they did a really bad job of telling me who this person was. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to move on past it because I don't want to get into a whole thing. But what I'm saying is that Thea Hale's very upset because her date with Milesy Osborne did not go well. Riley Osborne, apparently she was on her phone the whole time because Jayne told her to not be too available. You know, like I don't know how that.
I don't think that's what "don't be too available" is usually.
Well, obviously she misinterpreted, but that is kind of odd to me that's what they did. But eavesdropping on this whole situation, Jacy Jayne, Thea Hale, and a girl I do not know, need a vignette, is Ariana Venti, who comes out and she's like, "What? I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear as I was standing right back there, listening in. But obviously, you need my help to help you learn the ways of love and how to land a man or something." Jacy Jayne completely says, "So look at me. I gave you good advice. You just didn't follow it correctly." And Ariana Venti's like, "Excuse me, is this really your best friend? Because she is not treating you well." And then girl whose name I do not know, need a vignette. She's like, "Well, you can't talk that way to Jacy Jayne, or my name's not." I don't know what your name is. We find out later. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about that. That's a whole thing. I'm gonna do a tight 5 on her
There's
name. There's a whole thing later. So there's a match is made between Ariana Venti and Jacy Jayne. So we're gonna get that later. But poor Thea Hale, who just screwed everything up with Milesy Osborne. That is tough.
I'll say this. If you look at Jacy Jayne's track record of friends, I feel as though maybe she should not be blindly trusted. I know she bailed out Chase University, but like, I don't know.
With her fantastic scheme of borrowing money from the mob to finance a sexy co-eds calendar.
Correct.
It's a foolproof plan.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
Look, I know you don't want to get into like a whole thing, but I do.
Okay, fine.
No, I don't really want to get into the whole thing because I'm not going to get into vignette discourse multiple times in my life. I can't. I can't do it. I can't
do it. Nope.
I will ice that topic, son, right here. But I will say, Chase U has had like 4 students.
Yeah.
That we know and love.
Whose names
and then
we
just
know.
Students.
And then just students.
So if you're gonna have one of those students be featured, I would like to know who they are. Like if you're not Duke Hudson, Jacy Jayne, Thea Hale, or Milesy Osborne, is that what we're calling him?
Milesy Osborne, yeah.
Milesborne, that's right.
Milesy Osborne.
This is like the American Annual Dragon sit all over again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they have a guy whose name is Milesborne and a guy whose name is Riley Osborne.
Yeah,
like they're too similar, so I put them together. I'm sorry, that's just what
you don't have to. I think I started that. I just couldn't remember what we started calling them.
Yeah.
But if you're not those principal characters, I need to know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not going to condescend anyone about it, but I do feel like, who are you? Were you featured on the calendar? I don't know.
Perhaps. I don't know. I didn't buy the calendar. It was sold out.
Nor did I.
I needed to see some sexy co-eds, and apparently the internet was down that day. So, so we'll see more of that for a while. We got the Wolf Dogs.
Yeah, we did.
Coming out for a celebration of winning the they did do the thing what's the
I just was like, he signed a SmackDown.
Right, that's the thing. They did have Vic Joseph lay over the top a very obvious canned voiceover he recorded days later of, "Also a really great thing for Braun Breaker, he signed a SmackDown contract on Friday." It's very odd how they can't get the sound to match up with the stuff they record later on these pre-tapes and the stuff they recorded at the time. Like, I would feel like a good sound mixer could get them to match up a little bit, but maybe they don't have one of those on staff. Whatever. so they acknowledged it, but when he came out to sign the contract with Nick Aldis, he wasn't wearing the title belt, and he was wearing it in an earlier scene, like in Aldis's office, but they never referenced it. So like those titles are already off of those guys. Like I don't know who's taking them yet because there's complications later, but those titles are already off those guys, which to me seems like, why did you have them win them? It's especially with all the other stuff we're going to get into later in this episode. Why did you have these guys win them? If you were going to break them, I mean, they might break them up. I don't know. There's no indication whatsoever that Baron Corbin is now being signed to SmackDown. None.
No.
So if you're gonna have them win the Dusty Classic, then win the tag team titles, then one of them gets called up and they lose the tag team titles, and the other guy doesn't get called up with the tag partner, I would question your decision-making process. That's what I would say.
Yeah, it does feel maybe like the Brock Lesnar absence is opened up a door for Braun that they weren't necessarily ready to walk through. But it's kind of a bummer because I've been enjoying this Wolf Dogs run.
Sure.
And there's no reason that Baron Corbin has to stick around.
Uh-huh.
We see what other tag team pops up here later, which was weird, but I do feel like I'll let it sit and see where they go. Like Braun could easily work SmackDown and have a quick little tag run here and have them drop, but based on who wins later, it kind of feels like maybe those guys should have just been in the tournament and those guys should have won the title with the booking that we already talked about on how to make that whole Chase U thing make sense. But the interactions with Braun and Baron Corbin are the most comfortable Braun has ever looked on the mic. Like it is the most natural sounding he ever is. And that makes me really happy because that's kind of been the one thing about him. He, I think with the heel turn, settled in really nicely to a different tonality. But these ones are like the most human dynamic that we've gotten from them. And I think it's been really productive for him in that regard.
So they're out there and they're celebrating, and they were debating if they should call themselves Spear of Days, which don't.
You said you wanted a break before Tony D'Angelo.
Oh my goodness, you gotta tell me ahead of time here with this thing. Hold on.
I'm saying.
Okay.
Sometimes your spear doesn't last for days.
Okay. Fine. Go. Okay. Bye.
What? Oh, God. Sometimes your spear doesn't last for days, and you need a little assistance because it doesn't. Well, you don't want it to last for days. You know what? I'm gonna let Sean tell you.
Is your sex life stuck in developmental? Well, get ready for a call up with BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL. Same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but how about this? No awkward in-person visits, no trips to the pharmacy. It's shipped straight to your door in a discreet package. But let me tell you, your package is not going to be discreet when you use Blue Chew, and the code FIGHTFUL helps to give you that confidence, that performance to take you straight to the main event, if you know what I'm saying. When approved online by one of our physicians, it just arrives straight to your door. You're not going to have people nosing around with what you're doing. And right now, you get your first shipment free when you use the code FIGHTFUL. Go straight to the top. You know what I mean. Memorable performance, high spot, whatever other innuendos you can think of. BlueChew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
Hello, it's me. It's the ghost of Dusty Rhodes coming to you from the great beyond. Trying to talk to you. There's a tournament that bears my name. It's called the Dusty Classic. It's called the Dusty Classic, baby. And I'm gonna call into question all of the booking ideas for this particular version of the tournament, because I feel like it was right there for Chase U to win the whole thing, considering that later the night they're the number one contenders. And then they got a ringer tag team coming in from the main roster. And I feel like listen, what are you talking about the main roster, Daddy? You're talking about the OC. The OC, man, you're talking about the OC. Them some good brothers. There been some bad men, but them some good brothers. And they are coming down here to talk about everything. And I feel like if you just skip all the middleman steps and have the Chase U win the Dusty Classic, then maybe they could just go on and win the tag titles without all this whole wolf dog thing. Then there wouldn't be all this rigmarole, if you will, about the Braun Breakers and going on to the SmackDowns. There's nothing of the Barons Corbins. And what's going on with them? You know, he's out of burning the ships. I haven't seen any ships. I don't know where they are. I have not seen this fleet of ships that you may have been burning, setting fire to these ships, Daddy. I have no idea. So all I'm saying is not. I'm gonna go back to the great beyond.
Oh, okay. If you want to,
I am the ghost with the most, and I will be back again, but not right now because I gotta go.
Okay. If you want to send some spiritual inspiration for tag team booking, we're all for it.
All right. I'll take that under consideration.
Please do. Please do, Sir Dusty. Ghost.
If you will. Also, if you won't.
But
what? My internet is haunted now. It used to be hacked, and now it's haunted.
I know it was hacked by Scripps, which I think, even though Scripps isn't around as much anymore, like it left a weakness in your security that now allows ghosts to come and take it over.
Not okay. It's not okay. I'm telling you. The Chase U came out and they asked via Big Ange for a look-see, maybe getting a title match versus the D'Angelo family.
Sure.
That they should then, they believe that look-see should just continue on to the new champs. Mm-hmm. The Wolf Dogs seem to not agree. And then a team that lost to the Wolf Dogs in the tournament believes that they have a better, a better chance to get this thing. So out come Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Now Duke Hudson, who I know you like very much, does an impression of Axiom, but we all know that the only impression of Axiom is. And so if he doesn't do that, it's not a real Axiom impression.
Yeah, that was I really do like Duke Hudson. I think he's a natural talker. But natural impressionist he is not. That was not even close, considering we know that it's
maybe if he didn't have to carry around that dumb trophy everywhere, he could have had a hand free to cover his mouth.
It is a little Linus and his blankety with the trophy. Let's put down the trophy. Let's find a nice trophy case. Stow it in there. We know, Duke, we know you're the MVP.
Right.
You don't have to go around. Who do you like better? The guy that's constantly telling you how cool he is, or the guy who's just James Dean in the school? We know you're the MVP of that school.
Yeah. So Baron says this seems like a you problem. So we'll figure out who this is because we're not going to pick. And Ava says, "No, I shall pick." So we're going to have a number one contenders match later tonight between Chase U and Nathan Frazier and Axiom. And the winner of that will be the number one contenders. Just kidding, they won't be. She doesn't say that, but she should have, considering how the booking turned out for the rest of the night. Yeah. So yeah, it's good. Jambeard says you should dye your hair black and join the Judgment Day.
Okay, I need to get my hair done. I think I figured out what I want to do. But you keep sending in super chats because it's expensive in this world. Okay.
Yeah, that's good. Jambeard asked if Dusty said "burn the shits." No, he said "burn the ships." I'm sure that is, in fact, the catchphrase of Baron Corbin. So I'm sure he said "burn the ships."
Yeah, I think I think that Dusty said "burn the ships," but you better just misheard it for some reason.
Yeah. Dusty was the one leaving those flaming paper bags on Kate's doorstep. That's what Jambeard said.
I'm gonna have to. This is so inconvenient because now I have to host a seance and I have to channel the ghost of Dusty Rhodes to ask him if he was leaving flaming bags of dog poo on my doorstep, a la Billy Madison.
Yeah.
It's just like so much work I have to do.
Right. It is. It's true. It's odd. Or I suppose he could just haunt my internet again.
I mean, we'll see. It's not like you have any control. Oh my gosh, Dusty!
I wasn't leaving flaming bags of dog poo on your doorstep. No, I was leaving them on Ric Flair's doorstep because I hate that man with a passion that rivals any you've ever seen, if you will.
And I will.
I'm being called back to the great beyond.
Oh, bye. Oh, okay. Bye. Alex, it happened again. The first time you thought was the end of it, but turns out we had a Dusty finish on it. Who would have thought?
I got to call the Ghostbusters. You mean Ghostbusters? It keeps happening. I can't. There was another one of those deals.
Just worried about your daughter, to be honest. But
man says something, but I don't. What did this one say? Does anybody remember what the hell the vignette introducing a new character we haven't seen yet? Maybe one was coming back. I'm not sure. I don't know what to Google. I'm not sure what I forget what they said. Men do this. And
okay,
I do that.
It's either Tamatanga, Boa, Dante, and Dragon Chew. Or, hear me out, it's Chelsea Green and two dogs in a trench coat. I'm just saying, it could be.
It could be.
It could be. So it's one of those.
I don't feel like Tamatanga is does he wear hard-soled shoes?
Not so far, no. But it's NXT. Anything can happen.
Men deny their truth. I will be a mirror to it. And then the footsteps start running, and then the person, whoever it is, smashes their head into some glass. And I feel like that was a bad idea.
Yeah, that's not good.
That. Don't.
Could be Bo Dallas.
No. Ed Maher says, could have sworn Carbon Church should burn the simps. Well, that is something that he might have said.
What I do on Twitter.
There you go. Boom. Boom. But then also the glass that shatters is red. From the white lettering, now it's red. So obviously it's Dragon Chew. I mean, there's no other option here, according to Luis. You know who else wears red? Dragon Chew. So there you go.
It's true. It's Chew.
It's Chew. It's damn Chew. Thank you. Yes. Roxanne Perez is pissed.
She's so mad, Alex.
She's really mad.
They're just trying to be a babyface and call her up into this angle with Bailey and Dakota. What are we doing?
No, listen. Okay. She has a match with Wren Sinclair.
Yes.
And she hits the Pop Rocks, but then she refuses to pin her. She puts her in what looked like a version of the bank statement. And like a very interesting looking crossface, which is specific. And she taps her out. And she's talking trash, and they've turned her into a vicious heel. And perhaps I am old-fashioned. But I am of the opinion that you should not voluntarily take the purest babyface on your entire roster and on purpose turn her into a vicious heel, because that is dumb and should be a thing that should be avoided at all costs. Now, I guess long-term storytelling, because they've been building this for a while, but our pal SP3 on Twitter tells me, well, they ran out of all of their ideas for her as a babyface. Now, they didn't even try any of the ideas. What ideas were there? She was champ for 2.5 minutes, and then she passed out, and then they stripped her of the title because anxiety, and then she hasn't gotten it back yet. What are the ideas? And then he listed all the ideas that occurred before that terrible thing that were even worse, where she won, and she and Cora Jade won the tag titles together.
Correct, yes.
And then Jade turned on her in literally a week. They didn't do a whole thing where like you see them together, right? As tag champs, and they're fighting off all comers, and they're coming really close to losing because they're the underdogs. They're smaller than everybody. They're the plucky baby faces. And then over time, Roxanne starts getting more shine than Cora does, and you start seeing Cora get more and more jealous, building to Cora turning on her and cementing Roxanne as this true babyface after a really good 6-month-long tag run. And then she has her feud with Cora. She gets past Cora. She wins, let's say, I don't know, an Iron Survivor match, and then gets a #1 contendership and beats Mandy Rose, or if Mandy Rose doesn't get caught having naked pictures of herself on the internet, she loses to Mandy Rose, but develops a really long chase for the title. Or let's say all of that stuff that I just mentioned that was bad, let's say it all happened the bad way, the way HBK booked it. And she loses the title the way he booked her to. And instead of this weird thing where we just put it on Indy for no reason, I love Indy, but they put it on her for no reason, you put it on Tiffany Stratton. And instead of, listen, it was fun, but ultimately it means nothing now, Becky Lynch doesn't come and steal Tiffany's reign from her. And the person we have chase Tiffany all the way from when Tiffany became champion to now is Roxanne coming after the other top person in her class, in Tiffany. And then she wins the title from her, and we have a great babyface chase. All of this stuff was stuff they could have done, but instead of like, I'm mad because I don't get my way. This is bad.
I will say you and SP3 are both right in that they are out of ideas, but you are right in that those ideas are not good ones. So I would venture to say, why don't they have good ideas for her? Because they have not been good, and she just is a face. Like there are some people you look at. The reason that I fell in love with wrestling, CM Punk is a heel. Yes, he's a good face. He's a great heel. Roxanne might be a really good heel. She's a baby face. Now, in developmental, I always leave room for the fact that they might want to see you play both sides of the coin. I thought Braun Breaker was a great face that they should have sent up to the roster well before he turned heel. And then he turned heel, and I was like, nah, I actually like that better. So I always leave room for that, especially in a developmental program. Like, you should be able to see if you have that in you and what that looks like and explore that side of yourself. And I will say, as far as heel turns go, this is a better justified one than a lot of people's are. Like, she at least has outlined the frustrations that she had to get to this point, rather than I put on black lipstick and I'm dark now, or I'm a weird stalker or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So all of that piece of it, I understand.
Yeah.
What I don't understand is how much it feels like you're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole with this. Because, I mean, I get the Pop Rocks is a super over move, but it almost...
Well, now she's not going to do it anymore, I think. She's going to do this crossface now.
But doesn't it... to me, it felt like it looked weaker. Like, it made the Pop Rocks look weaker if you're not going to pin some off it and you're still going to put them in a submission.
It is the move has a pin integrated in it. You don't have to, after you hit it, you just stay where you are and you're pinning them.
It's right there. That's part of the beauty of it. That's part of what makes it so cool.
That's what the move is. So to have her like refuse to do it seems odd. And somebody in the chat, I believe it's Tom the Man 94, is saying that they need somebody to fill the Cora Jade role. This other person, this specific on the totem pole, you need this. There are
this
heels.
Archetype filled.
There's a top heel, and then there's a second heel, and then a third heel, and they don't have one of those. Whoever Cora Jade was supposed to be is gone.
Where's so they right there?
I don't know. I'm not sure what they're doing with her. She has not been around.
So where's if they maybe Dolan? Have her do something.
No. I think that I'm not saying this is better. I'm saying I don't know what they're gonna do with Gigi Dolan at this point either. You know my feelings. As soon as Mandy Rose got fired, call up Jacy Jayne and Gigi Dolan together, let them run Toxic Attraction on the main roster. It would have been a really great act on the main roster, and they broke them up. And now they're spoiler alert, they're turning Jacy Jayne heel again. So like, I mean, I don't know what we're doing with any of this stuff, but whatever. I think there are certain, when you are lucky enough to have the perfect underdog babyface, the idea that you would voluntarily change that up, like somebody you can instantly get behind, who has the right moveset, the right look, the right everything persona to just be that, until you have literally run out of options. And they had all these ideas that they barely even tried. I contend that actually having Roxanne and Cora win the tag champs was great. But to condense their entire 6-month reign as tag champs, where you slowly built to a turn and just do it in a week, is horrible. So you had ideas, you just didn't see them through. Like, honestly, her having to be stripped of the title because of a kayfabe injury and then clawing her way back to the title is an idea. They just didn't see that through. So, like, all of this stuff is just bad. But
I don't understand how we went from like that really cool angle with Mako Satomura to just nothing. Like, that felt like such a productive and cool thing, especially because the title was on Mandy for so long. And like the way it was shot was different and the story was so cool.
Was that the last time we saw Mako? Was that match?
Yeah, because the match with Blair and Mandy and her was before that.
Yeah.
That might be the last time we saw Mako.
That was last time we saw Mako. Weird.
The other thing with the fact that she's like the underdog baby face very naturally is it's the only trope that they actually like to do with baby faces. Why are you switching it up when you actually have the person that should be doing it?
Yeah. Jimber says, Alex, the pure babyface heel turn worked great for Sammy, though. Same for Gargano in NXT. Okay, well, I'm going to say with Gargano in NXT, they had done pretty much everything they were going to do with him. Like, he had years and years of being the babyface guy. And then they switched him up to turn him heel. And they didn't just do, I'm mad, I'm going to put you in a crossface.
No, it's the perfect story.
It was the perfect story. And once he did that, after he did the turn, he quickly pivoted to like really fun comedy heel guy.
Yes.
And that's a different thing. Sammy, I would argue, they didn't do it in NXT. They did it on the main roster. Because Vince, they never let him truly live up to his potential as a babyface underdog on the main roster. Like they just didn't. They were never going to put him in that position. And so they turned him heel. We can quibble about the heel work. I think that he was doing a fine job with some really bad material.
Yes.
And then it caught fire when he joined the Bloodline. But before that, all the stuff where he was doing stuff with Cesaro and Nakamura, he was pulling out some good performances out of some really bad material.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's just some ways of doing it that just don't work, that work, and some that don't. I will be very happy to see that Roxanne Perez knocks this whole thing out of the park.
That would be awesome.
But I just don't trust their material. I don't.
Well, with her especially, why would you have reason to? Like, look at what they've done with her for the past year.
Yeah.
Not much.
Jim Beard says, I know the promos feel like Dragon Chew, but do you think it could also be returning Mako Satomura? And Luis says, maybe she's running the Sendai Girls promotion in Japan. I did not know that was where she was. So, I mean, I didn't think she was like just hanging out and catering. I knew she was doing something, but I didn't know.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if you have her around, you're not like, well, we don't need you today. Make a freaking Satomura.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there we go. Metaphor is confronted by the No Quarter Catch crew.
Yes.
It does feel like they kept bringing it up on commentary. So this is the story that they're running with, that Noam Dar does not recognize the very obvious thing that the No Quarter rules means that any one of the four of them can be the challenger. And they keep saying Noam Dar doesn't know what he's getting himself into. And I'm like, it's not like they've got a guy among the four of them that is like I don't know who like. It's not like this is. I don't have an option here. Obafemi, I guess. Well, there's not one of the four guys is not a dude who's going to murder him. They're all the same basic idea. I mean, I'd much rather face Damon Kemp than Drew Gulak in a shoot fight. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But they're all booked the same. They're Tekker losers. That's what the no quarter catch crew is. It shouldn't be, but that's how they're booked. So whatever guy he faces is going to be booked in the same way, and he'll win the match 2 falls to 1. So
I feel like he has good reason to be like, hey, I'm the one with the cup. Why do you guys get to just choose who you feel like sending at any time?
yeah.
But that's not the direction that they kind of have headed with this. Love monochromatic Noam Dar. Looks great as always.
Yeah, sure.
Very excited for like the in-ring. I want to get there right now. Because I feel like if he goes through this entire stable, if we get Noam Dar versus Drew Gulak, like I'm gonna be a very happy gal. So I'm hoping that we get. I hope we get to all of them. I hope the confusion about who am I facing leads to I'm fighting all of you at some point.
I don't. The only one of those maybe Charlie Dempsey.
Hell yeah.
Like, maybe. I don't want to see him versus Damon Kemp. I don't need to see that match. That's a thing that like considering they have all of these other guys on the roster, pick one of those guys and have him face Noam Dar in a Heritage Cup match. Damon Kemp's not a guy who I want to see do that. Charlie Dempsey, sure. Drew Gulak, absolutely. But like it doesn't. I don't know. I always think of things of like there's other things I could be watching instead of this. Why aren't I watching those things?
Well, just think that about all of NXT every Tuesday.
Well, I mean that is true. You know me.
The answer is you don't get paid to, my friend. No, I kind of like if you're gonna do Noam Dar versus Charlie Dempsey at a pay-per-view or whatever, like the weeks leading up to it, I think that could be a fun little program. Not mad about it.
Luis says that they're doing this thing next week, whichever one of the four. If I had to guess, I would say it'd be Charlie Dempsey of the four.
Yeah, if they're just doing one, it should be Charlie Dempsey.
And then Luis says he wants Drew Gulak versus Noam for Stand and Deliver.
Stand
and deliver. If I would not be surprised to see the Heritage Cup not defended at Stand and Deliver. I just wouldn't. I mean, of all the titles, I wouldn't be surprised to see it not defended. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying that's good or bad. They don't put everything on the cards. So
I know.
Yeah. So
doesn't mean I'm happy about it.
Right. Obafemi's going to defend. Ilia's going to defend. Lyra's going to defend. That's 3. The tag champs. That's 4. They have a couple of grudge matches in there. You know what I mean?
Probably will depend if they do a pre-show or not. Like a Heritage Cup pre-show.
Could be.
Because last year they actually put stuff on the pre-show. That would be cool.
Yeah.
What was I say? Oh, good class of champions right now. Ilya Dragunov, Obafemi. The Wolf Dogs. I always want to call them the War Dogs.
They are not long for those titles.
They are not, but like at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Good class.
Yes. So Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen. Double vest.
And the wallet.
Beach. Double vest. Beach. Next. Kudos. Smart. That's thinking. For Double Vest to come out wearing his chain on a wallet during the match because you don't want to get pickpocketed while you're wrestling.
No. If you walk through
wait. Hold on. I'm getting word that he was not wearing a wallet. So he had a chain connected between 2 belt loops, and that is, hold on, stupid. Yes, great. There's no
probably
reason
got
for that
picked
whatsoever.
up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Probably walked in like that, and then the parking lot happened.
Kind of weird. I don't know why he's well on a chain. I'm not really sure why that is the thing. But match is fine. They smash each other a lot. You know, gonna let it play out. Like I just hate that phrase so much because I don't trust these people at all. So from what we get later, it's like, oh, they don't hate each other. They were fighting like they hated each other. This is supposed to be like they're like brothers fight, but sometimes brothers reunite. Like, what are they a tag team again? What's going on here? Like, we already watched these two guys fight as like an exercise to prove how much they love each other, but in like a total like hetero bro way.
Yes.
Like, we already watched that match a few months ago. I thought this was the match because they hated each other. This can't have been another like, I'm giving you tough love, kid. But he kept saying that. Like,
I mean,
Double S
they had
kept
a
saying,
very
I did this
dramatic
for you. I did this for you. I did this for you. I did it for you. He just kept repeating it over and over again.
Briggs has gotten very good. Much improved. Yeah, the story's a little muddy because we had that extremely dramatic promo last week.
Yeah.
And I was saying, like, if you're gonna split them up, I think I said this last week. I like it when you have tag teams that or stables that go their own ways and you don't have to have some blood feud about it. But the bar brawlers should have a blow off, and this didn't feel like that to me. So I'm wondering if they're gonna run this back 2 or 3 times. Like, if this is gonna be a rivalry kind of thing.
They had an amicable split where they all went their own separate ways.
Like 8 minutes ago.
Except for Beej was like, I can't quit you. I'm lost without you. Please come back to me. Like, and if they didn't have that, I guess they wouldn't have had this match.
Baby, come back.
They beat the hell out of each other. The match was fine. I'm more interested in how the story led into the match and where it goes from here. They beat the hell out of each other. Good. And Briggs won with his big old clothesline.
I don't know if next week they're going to be besties or mortal enemies, but that's just life sometimes.
I also will question the choice of cowboy boots over jeans to wrestle in. Feels cumbersome and also like you would slip a lot.
Yeah. I was trying to think of how Hangman does it, and he's got him over the boots.
Yeah, he's got like some chaps or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But like hey, the natural Dustin Rhodes.
It's true.
He would wear them with tights. Like cowboy boots with no pants. Like cowboy boots, bare legs, tights.
What a legend.
I taught him everything he knows, all about footwear and the lack of leg wear. I'm being called to the great beyond.
Oh, no. Alex, you really got to get some NordVPN on your stuff because it's...
I do. Yeah. Luis reminding us that Beej would have won if he'd been wearing the Magnum TA outfit, the Magnum BJ.
Obviously,
outfit.
Yeah.
Because he beat Obafemi while wearing that on a dark match. Like, that was before they were pushing Obafemi. Obafemi loses a lot of dark matches in the late 2023, which is just odd to think about now, but yeah.
He's never lost a single match. He's perfect. I don't know what you're talking about. Thanks.
Okay. I'm gonna keep this one for later. Luis, we'll do that one after the people enter. So Dijak is starring in his own mid-90s crime thriller. We just saw like it was like Dijak showed up on an episode of Jay Leno in 1996, and he's like, we have a clip, and he played this scene. That's what it is. It was honestly that. There's a clip.
We got a clip.
We got a clip from the middle of the. Hey, we got a clip for you. Oh no! You lost your light. Are you being haunted now too?
No, Daphne just keeps. I mean, I guess by my dog, but my dog just keeps laying on my power cord, which is extremely inconvenient. Yeah. Can you move your huge body, you big potato? Come on, you're such a big potato. Thank you. Okay. Yes, you're very cute and needy. I get it. Okay.
All right. So it's Dijak walks into this interrogation room and slams a nightstick down on the table, and then looks in there, and it's Joe Gacy still in the straitjacket from last week. And then he runs up and smushes his face on the glass, and then he breathes some fog there, and then with his nose he makes a smiley face. And I was like, if I saw that in a mid-90s thriller where the crazy guy did that, I think it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
So I have to then rethink how I'm thinking about the Joe Gacy character, because that was awesome. I've never seen that before. That's a really cool touch. He has obviously lost it and has no problem feeling pain or whatever.
Alex, he's cuckoo bananas. He
is cuckoo bananas. This is great, because then it also introduces the character of what is apparently, I guess, in this version of the movie, though my version of the movie is much better. In this version of the movie, like the assistant DA who comes in to tell the cop, you can't torture a man. We have laws in this nation. You can't do that. And like, beat it, Crucifino. I know what I'm doing, or whatever he says to him. And apparently they're going to have a match about this next week. Like, Luke Crucifino, to defend the rule of law, is going to get his ass kicked by Dijak. But I thought Luca was becoming the personal attorney for Tony D. What is he doing in this particular role? Because those two things don't work. Like, he can't be like defending the rule of law, like with Dijak, while also being like, listen, I could get you out of anything. You just call me. I'll be your personal fixer. That's a different thing entirely. But anyway.
Maybe Dijak beats him up so bad he decides to turn to the other side.
Perhaps.
Yep.
So this was excellent. And I really love the interplay between Dijak and Gacy. Gacy is like proving to me that like he's really, really, really good at this. Like, it's hard to play crazy, and he's playing crazy really, really well. Well, it's easy to play crazy badly, but he's doing it really well, and that is difficult. So I have decided to. I wrote out a little treatment for this movie that I'm going to write now. So 5 years ago, a psychotic killer murdered Detective Dijak's wife. And then when Dijak caught up to him, he beat him so bad he put him in a coma. So the psycho killer got off on a technicality. And he got put in a mental institution. So now it's years later, and Dijak got drummed off the force for excessive, beatings and whatever. So now he's working private security for a Hollywood starlet / pop singer played by Tiffany Stratton.
Yep.
In the first establishing shot, in the establishing scene of present day, because it starts out with the flashback and everything of him beating up the guy and the guy getting off a technicality. The present day, there's a stalker who's coming after Tiffany Stratton, and he catches the stalker backstage in a concert and beats the crap out of him. So he's private security now. So he gets a talking to by the cops, but they let him go because he's with the hottest Hollywood starlet in the world. So now he gets word that the psycho killer has broken out of a mental institution.
Dun, dun, dun.
And he kidnaps Dijak's 7-year-old daughter. And the only one who knows where the daughter is the psycho killer's twin brother, who might even be crazier than the psycho killer. Both guys played by Joe Gacy. So Dijak kidnaps Joe Gacy, the brother, and takes him to the old abandoned 17th precinct. The only guy he can trust is his old partner from when he was on the force 5 years ago.
Who's that?
In a special guest performance by Keith Lee. Because they have an old relationship. They were old rivals, but they respect each other. And Keith Lee, just for what he comes in, he's working under a different name because he can't work under Keith Lee, but it's him. He's the perfect
Bearcat.
He's the perfect 2 days to he's Detective Bearcat. He's the perfect 2 days to retirement cop. right? But
Sure.
Detective Bearcat has a young partner on the force now, Detective Crucifino, who's a by-the-book scop. And he doesn't like his new partner getting involved in this, running point on the whole thing with the cops. Hey, man, I didn't sign up for this. And so he goes and blabs to the top brass, who are now after Dijak. But that's okay, because Dijak beat out the confession out of the brother of where the psycho killer is taking the daughter to Dijak's old family beach house in North Carolina. And he's driving into an oncoming hurricane as the cops are chasing him. And Detective Bearcat, is trying to stop all this from happening. The big twist is that the twin who kidnapped the daughter is not actually the psycho killer. The psycho killer is the one he was beating up, that he kidnapped. And that's the guy who told him the wrong place to go. It's not actually at the beach house. It's somewhere else. It's this whole thing. And I think honestly, we got a great thing here.
You were really bored during NXT today, huh?
I was so bored. Jambeard says when Bear Tree Hill could be the stalker part. He really could.
Ooh, okay.
Really
I'm
could.
in. I'm in on that.
Jambeard says that Joel Pearl could play the twin brother. He's the stand-in for both brothers.
Yeah.
When they're both standing there, because at the very end of the thing, the real psycho killer comes in with his arm.
Spoiler, bro.
He comes in with his arm in a sling from having being beaten up, and he kills Detective Keith Lee. 2 days to retirement. Like, it's one of those things, right? It's some good stuff. So whenever they're both appearing on screen at the same time, one of them is Joel Pearl. If you shoot him from behind, obviously.
Story tracks. Nice to see Joel Pearl just getting some work.
Zach, it's obviously 90s action crime thriller movies because that was the thing that Dijak started in tonight. So,
guys, here's the thing, Alex.
Oh, I like this one. Jambeard says Police Commissioner Regal and Mayor HBK.
Ooh, yes to all of that. Yes to
like
all
that.
of that.
Yeah, good.
Would you?
Okay. So now we're going to read some puns because you guys have been sending in some good puns. Here we go. This is great. ENR says Techno Terminator 2000.
Fortune looks happily.
Tom Valley says Colt Cobrana.
Very nice.
Because that's Dijak's character, basically. Louisville says Die Hardy Boys.
That's very good.
Lieutenant Colonel Lieutenant Colonel Photo says, "What's in the box? What's in the box?" Greg Jerry Brand says, "Mission Imjoshable," like Big Josh.
Thank you.
And also, whoop that Wick, John Wick. Andrew Dekoff says WWE Speed 2 Cruise Control.
There you
go. ENR says Law and New World Order.
Very nice.
Michael Dammit says For Our Lord Meet Normus, Bray Wyatt Earp. Now, that's a Western, but I'll accept it. It's a good pun. But
Well, they get money, so we'll take it.
ENR says Enter the American Dragon. That's a martial arts movie. Again, we'll accept it, but let's try and keep it a little bit more narrow here. For the
no, just keep sending us money.
That too, but Meet Norman says
do better.
NYPD Sky Blue.
Very good. That's very good.
Starsky and Butch. Ryan Sullivan says Escape from LA Night.
Very good.
Jambeer says Big Show in Little China. Well, it's the Big Show in Little China. Tango and Cash Wheeler. WWE Universal Soldier. The Last Action Chris Hero. and Red Isla Dawn. Fantastic.
Very nice.
ENR says Sheamus's next stable, the Goodfellas.
Oh, excellent.
Tom LaValle says Gallows and Anderson, the Goodfellas. There you go. You've got a couple of those right back and forth. ENR says the Man from Uncle Howdy.
I don't get that.
The Man from Uncle? You don't know the Man from Uncle? Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Tom LaValle says the thing, the Jake something. That's
comic book world, but
I mean, well, it's that, but also it's like for movies, it's like sci-fi horror. Again, it's a great pun. This is great. ENR says La Femme Nikita Lyons. That's a
very
pun.
nice.
Insert clever Tegan Knox pun says Tegan Knoxter 2, Judgment Day. Tegan Knoxter 2, Judgment Day. Terminator 2. No. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel photo.
We'll accept it.
Come with me if you want to live, Morgan.
Very nice.
ENR Ludwig Kaiser Soze. That's great.
That's really...
Ryan Sullivan says Dusty Rhodes house. Good. A Knocked Out Film says over the top rope.
Over the top.
Ryan Sullivan says Point Breaker.
Would you relax, Daphne?
Jam
Very good.
Beard
Point
says,
Breaker. Very good. Relax.
Jake the Snake and Black Roadhouse. Like House of Black Roadhouse? I'm not really sure.
I'm going to assume that's what it
says The Invisible Man, John Cena. Chris Pereira says Al Snowpiercer.
Very good.
Chris Pereira says Pete Dune.
Oh, like Dune.
Like
Dune
Dune
2 just came out, right?
Yeah.
I was just so used to calling him Peter Dune that I didn't like register at all.
Louisville says V for Ventura. C. Delgado says Tony Perfect Storm.
Here it is.
Andrew Dekoff says Ghost of Dusty Roads to Perdition.
Ooh.
Justin Holcomb says you can't handle the R-Truth. Alpha Bill says Von Air. Not Con Air, but Von Air. Ryan Sullivan says, since people are saying the movie, back to my original, Oba the top.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Oba the top. Jesse Ozog says Broken Falcon Arrow. Meet Norma says Harlem Heat of the Night. It's a new training day. Yes, it is.
Very good.
Die Jack Hard E-Boys. Die Hard, but then put a bunch of other things in there. Lethal Weapon. That's good. Jay Lethal Weapon's really good. Law and Dark Order. Jesse Ozog. Nice. The Rock? Yes, we will accept The Rock.
Well done.
It's really Brian says, making my pun comeback. Here we go. Over the Top Dollar. Rambo Dallas. Red Isla Dawn. Rhodes House. Big Trouble in Little China with a Y.
Ooh.
Also, Bobby Fish was the first action star, but you wouldn't know it because he predates film.
That is confirmed true. What was the very first one? Over the Top Dollar, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like that one because of the over the ropes thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Layers. Very silly.
Layers. Jam Beard says the Van Terminator. Jacket Timecock. Cop with a P. Jacket Time Cop. Over the Top Guys. Mad Max the Impaler Beyond the Thunder Rosa Dome.
Wow.
That's very, very good. Ryan Sullivan says Free Jack Perry, which sounds like what somebody would say at like a hearing for him if he was arrested for something. Free Jack Perry. Jambeard says Octopussy in the bio. Octopussy is it?
I thought you were gonna just Octopussy, like Effie and Alley Cat.
Pieces says Octopussy, yes.
There you go.
The Pieces says that. Ryan Sullivan says Demolition Man Swa. And Ryan Sullivan says, I mean, Ricochet was a Denzel movie. It was a very good Denzel movie with John Lithgow. Very good Denzel movie. Chris Pereira says Crouching Tiger, Driver, Hidden Dragon, Screw. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
American Dragon, but
Dragon Louis. Yeah, Louisville says hobo with a shotgun dropkick. Meet Normus says, I'm gonna skip this one. Jam Beard says 10,000 BC was a biopic of Bobby Fish.
Yes, it was. That's confirmed. It was a documentary, actually.
Chris Pereira says the new vicious Viking Raiders of the Lost Ark. Meet Norma says NCIS parking lot. NCIS NXT parking lot. Blue
Very
Bloodlines. Die Hard with a Vengeance Day. And Luis says something that makes no sense to me. Brother, don't even get me started on today's Law and Order episode.
Yeah, sometimes the lead-ins to those are really twisted. And
Okay.
I didn't see this one, but I know Luis did.
Oh, look, Spawn Ross Sapp is here.
Yeah. Hey guys, great to see you here. Sean Ross Sapp couldn't be here because he's been busy on the brand new Fightful Select Discord, which I know competes directly with the SGS Discord.
Not really, ours is free. But
and Sean Ross Sapp would never come and try to undermine your show or promote something on Fightful Select that is in direct competition with you.
He would never, ever do that.
But I'm not Sean Ross Sapp. I'm Spawn Ross Sapp. I also attacked Shaza McKenzie in the ring at one point.
How'd that go?
Yeah.
Hit her with a beautiful DDT.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't do anything to me. She beat Sean Ross Sapp in a match, though.
No, I just remember the deafening crowd reaction. That's all.
Well, you don't because it broke the audio there. Anyway, there is now a Discord available only to Fightful Select subscribers. Keeping out the riffraff. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember any of the villains from Spawn. I know there was the big portly fella that was one of them. I just know that Todd McFarlane was really good at like drawing villains. The figures were very good, but I just want to say it's pretty great that Fightful Select Discord, over 1,500 members already.
Oh, good.
Wow, sounds like it's gonna be quite the success. I'm so glad we already actually plugged it. Because we're really good at our jobs here. So just like we already did, but thank you for coming on and telling us more about it. Have you been in the
Violator? It was Violator. No violators allowed. No clowns allowed in the Fightful Select Discord.
Are you a member yet? Are you a Patreon subscriber and at what tier?
Yeah, of course. Of course I am.
Can I ask what tier? Because there's different values in each tier.
Yeah, it's a special one that's not available to everybody. It's called Tears for Fears.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to rule the world
about that.
So,
pardon me?
Tell us about the Discord. Tell us all about it since you have such
insight. It's so great. It's really, really great. So it started today.
How's it organized? How's it laid out?
What is it?
How's it laid out? Like, what are the different channels like?
Oh, yeah, there's like an AEW, ROH channel, WWE and NXT, New Japan, TNA, Joshi, Indies. There's an Ask SRS. There's even a Sour Graps one in case you guys ever want to join. In the Weeds. There's one that's just for Fightful website news. So, like, if we've got programming notes or something like that, like, for example, we revealed that Lyric was dropping a Black History Month feature on Wednesday. We revealed that the Fightful Elimination Chamber post show would be at 3 p.m. Kate, are you paying attention?
Yes, my dog keeps unplugging my light, but I'm listening about Lyric and the post show and all these great things.
Well, see, I mean, there are a lot of people that think if you're not staring directly at the camera that for some reason you can't hear me. I don't know why, but I mean, that's something that I've heard of in the past.
Sure.
The Righteous Reg Gemstones. That's pretty good. That's pretty good shit. Gotta say. Can Spawn tell us about Blue Chew? No, but I tell you what, you can spawn yourself an erection with BlueChew.com and the code Fightful.
Sean already told you all about Blue Chew earlier, but
yeah, yep.
Beat to the punch on that one. That old Sean Ross Sapp.
Yeah, it's a shame that NXT 2.0 isn't around, or else we might have seen Spawn Michaels. That could have been really cool.
Sure.
But hey, listen, if you are a fan of NXT, boy, do I have some good news for you. The first interview that the Grizzled Young Vets are doing after their WWE departure with Fightful. We broke some news on them on Fightful Select. And by we, I mean definitely Sean Ross Sapp.
Sure.
That full interview drops on Thursday it's up early access for subscribers of tier 2 right now.
I got some questions about your background, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Did you win that neon sign in a raffle or something? Like, where did the...
So what I have behind me is actually a green screen. I took a picture of Sean Ross Sapp's background, and I just have it superimposed behind me.
Right.
You know what? Yeah. Like everybody else on the internet, that's a super normal thing to do. So
yeah.
So,
I mean, well, people take pictures of Sean Ross Sapp that are on a Quick Man Bleach website, edit it, give him cross eyes, a much bigger beard than what he actually has.
Right.
And one prominent wrestling website owner thought that was an actual mugshot.
Oh.
I feel like the definition of prominent may vary, but
well, there you go. There you go. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to go hang out on the Fightful Selected Discord. It was great to see you guys.
We love that for you. Have so much fun spawning in the Discord.
Yes.
Spawning all over, really.
Right. Yeah, good.
It's going to be a great time. That guy is so weird.
I don't know.
So bizarre, that dude. He knows way too much about Fightful. It's really uncomfortable.
Carmelo goes back to the barbershop and just talks about how he would have let Trick be the second guy in NXT, fifth, third, second, but he can't be number one. And when you try to come for the king and the king takes you out or blah, blah, blah. And he wants to fight Ilya. Ilya has a vignette responding and he says he's going to come for his soul, and he's got red eyes now. Put on the red contacts in the middle of the vignette, like by blinking really hard, which feels like that's magic.
He is magical.
So yeah, that's what we're going to have a face-to-face next week. Carmelo and Ilya will have another match. I think they're fourth. The first three have been amazing, but we know what the end of the fourth one is. The end of the fourth one is Trick Williams comes out and Carmelo loses to Dragonov, and then we get Carmelo versus Trick at Stand
and Deliver.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Really good at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's true. This is Finn versus Cole from 2022 all over again, says Luis. It is. There's very. They do replay a lot of stuff. What I hope we get is the triple threat, because we have not seen that yet.
Yes, that would be very cool.
So,
and credit to Shawn Michaels. He's at least repeating something that doesn't have to do with him this time.
That is good.
Progress, I guess.
Okay.
I love our chat. They're like, cool, yeah, no, the Fightful Select Discord sounds great, but have you been to the SGS Society? Join both, but like, know your roots. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this a little out of order. We're going to talk about the Don of NXT finally living up to his namesake. Don, you told us to come. You wanted to see us, says Big Ange. Stax is there. It's like, what are we going to do to get back the tag? No, we're thinking small time. But this is what we got to do. We got to stay here. We got to make sure that I want to play for the big boys. I want to do big things. Nobody here questions any of my ideas. No opinions. I don't want to hear nothing. No back talk. I'm the guy that makes the plans, and I'm the guy who's gonna be on top. Me, the Don. That's right. Me, Tony D'Angelo, is gonna be day number one in all of NXT. Obviously, me, Tony D'Angelo, who is not drinking from an empty cup that is much too small for me to drink from.
I couldn't help but notice it. It's a very light cup over there, and it didn't seem like it.
Oh, it's just packed with vitamins and minerals and espressos.
Oh. It seems. See, I caught just like a little glimpse there, and it felt like.
I feel like there's plenty. There's lots and lots of coffee in here that I am drinking from this very large cup.
Oh man, really, really, really well done. Other than that, but that sent me 2.
I mean, he's drinking Italian espresso. It is they drink from small cups. It is true.
It wasn't the tiny cup. It was the nothing in it part. You couldn't even put water in there.
Yeah.
But this is what we've been asking for. However, once again, it begs for more underlings.
Yeah.
So we gotta get a bigger family. Oh my gosh, Daphne. I'm shutting my camera off and I'm fixing this. Stop laying on the power cord.
Stop it.
There's a power strip with my white girl light and my charger plugged in, and she keeps knocking out both somehow.
Of course. Somehow.
You little scutch. You're too big of a dog. Fatty. Come on.
Hey,
no.
Let's not body shame the dog.
I don't want to body shame her, but she's being a problem.
Okay. All right.
Young lady.
So the Dawn, if this is the beginning of the Italian American Championship, fine, but I don't think Oba should lose the title ever. So I don't know. We're gonna get Tony D'Angelo? This feels like you're starting a very long story. Tony D'Angelo has been into NXT since the first episode of 2021, like the 2.0. We're finally getting Braun and Carmelo getting called up soon, I think. We got Tiffany called up. Like, this feels like you're starting a year-long program with Tony D. He's going to be in his mid to late 40s by the time he gets called up eventually. Like, it just feels very interesting.
He has to be 38 to get pushed. We know that much. But
that's true.
He's in one of those weird ones where it just feels like he could go up tomorrow. He could go up in 3 years from now. He doesn't seem like he has to have a title to feel important. It does seem like he could do some really cool work with a title if they choose to give him one. The tag title thing wasn't it. Like, he needs to be a mob boss.
Yeah.
Proper. But maybe Obafemi beats Ilya Dragunov.
I mean, no. I'm fairly certain that they're not dumb enough to not give Trick a run with the big title. That dude is ridiculously over. If they do the triple threat,
I think he goes up with Melo though.
No, like as a duo.
Or that they both go up. I could see because they are not great at that.
They are really bad at everything. Like Trick, if they have the triple threat, then Trick pins Melo. And
that's how it should go. Yes.
And then Trick defends in a one-on-one match with Ilia and somehow beats Ilia. And then Ilia goes up. Like that's and then Trick has a run with the title. I think you could see now like a tweener / heel Tony D'Angelo coming for Trick, but like months from now, like for like the battleground match or something. Maybe beyond that, even the Heat Wave match they're doing when they do SummerSlam or something, or Money in the Bank. They're doing Money in the Bank, and their Heat Wave is in Toronto.
Spring Break again,
which will of course will be in August because that's when they do everything is a little too late.
Yeah, that'll be mid-fall.
Yeah.
Survivor Series.
True. So Jayne comes out for her match with Ariana Grace.
Yes.
And she is. It says Jayne with Thea Hale, and she comes out with Thea Hale and with the girl we don't know who that is. But it says now with Thea Hale and Jasmine Nix. Now, if you are thinking that Jasmine can be spelled one way, the way Jasmine is spelled, you are wrong.
It is not spelled like a Disney princess.
And if you think that Nix can only be spelled like Stevie spells her last name, not Stevie Turner, Stevie Nicks, you are wrong because, hold on, the best way I have to do this is to do it like this to show everybody. It is like this. Jasmine Nix with with 2 Y's and a Z and an X. That is not a name. That is a winning play in a game of Scrabble. Like,
it could be both. Well, I guess it technically can't be both.
Jasmine Nix.
It looks like a fashion brand name, like it would be, or like an indie artist. I feel like
Nix. Apparently, Nix is a Greek goddess. I did not know.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
I want to be named after a goddess. That rules.
That is a very specific type of stage name.
That is.
That is what I will say nothing more. But that is a very specific type of adult entertainer has a stage name. That was Jasmine.
They can't all be accountants, Alex. But more importantly,
there should be 2 X's in there. It would be even better Scrabble score.
Well, I want her to be a tag team with Stevie now, so they could be Stevie Nicks.
Yeah. Anyway, she helps by attacking Ariana Venti during the match so that Jacy Jayne can win it. And Thea Hale is just kind of, I don't know what I'm doing. This feels weird. She's kind of like, well, I guess it's good we won, but I don't know what we're doing here. And okay. So looks like Thea Hale's being replaced as Jacy Jayne's little friend by one Jasmine Nikes.
I think that our dear Jasmine is here to steal your boy, Thea Hale. I think it's not Jacy Jayne that's going to be stealing Riley Osborne, but rather Miss Jasmine Nix is brought in here to do it. And I think Jacy Jayne was intentionally giving bad advice. And I actually think you're going to hate it because you hate it. But I think that's going to be good for Thea Hale, like for people that are into.
Well, we will talk about the
trajectory. Like, I think that'll actually be good.
We will talk about that. Chase U defeated Axiom and Nathan Frazier.
Yes, Duke Hudson got to wrestle.
Duke Hudson got to wrestle and looked very good doing it.
Yeah,
and Andre Chase got to take all of the offense, get beat up, get in, and score a roll-up pin.
Yes.
Like Duke Hudson did all of the work.
Yeah.
And Andre Chase got the pinfall.
God bless him.
Like a jackknife deal. It was a decent pin, but like, all right. So
he got a haircut?
He did. He got a haircut. Thank God.
Got them all cut, am I right?
He would have had to, because the what they had before, there was not a hair that was the proper length on his entire head. So he had to get all of the hairs cut.
It's true.
But I'm glad to see that he's looking less now that he's disheveled and like he actually knows what the hell he's doing. Good. They won. They keep referring to them as the former tag team champions, which technically they were for about a week.
9 days.
It is 9 days. Awesome.
So were Cody and Jay. That's like the same.
Also, not the best booking in that way either. But wow. I am flabbergasted and floored. Jim Beard says, just Googled it. Apparently it's a thing that people can do. I was worried about that for a while. I thought the Google was down earlier today, but apparently it is a thing you can do. Just Googled it. The spelling of Jasmine, Jazmyn, is actually quite popular. Some actress from Ballers and Justin Bieber's half-sister apparently spell it that way.
Interesting.
So I did not know.
Okay.
I did not know.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Alex, to be honest, if I had to place money on it, I would have bet firmly against
I would have bet the other way, and I would have been wrong.
You would have been wrong, and so would I, because we would not have been educated on such a thing. It's a real weird bet to open a line on.
It's weird that they actually put a line on whether or not Jasmine was the name. It was how you spell Jasmine.
It's an odd one, but if anyone's gonna have it, it's gonna be the place that opens their bets the earliest. Yeah. Good friends of ours here at Fightful, and that is Bet Online.
Hey guys, I'm here to tell you about Bet Online AG, the official betting partner of Fightful. Whenever you hear about odds for wrestling events, boxing events, MMA events, or really anything, it comes from betonline.ag. They have the earliest lines with odds open before the competition. You can bet big with high limits and rebet functionality. They have the fastest payouts with winnings paid in just minutes and the industry's best bonuses on every qualifying deposit. The biggest markets like NFL, NBA, NCAA, NHL, UFC, plus odds for things like WWE, AEW, and tons of other companies as well. They also have a bunch of popular games. They've been trusted for 25 plus years. As I mentioned, if we have odds here on Fightful, they are always coming from betonline.ag. Check it out, my friends. Bet what you can. Please bet responsibly.
Anyway, after the match, the Good Brothers show up, and
Yeah, what?
It was very kind of see they showed up and taped this angle last Tuesday, and then they went to work on Friday, and AJ Styles slapped Carl Anderson in the face.
Yeah,
and they showed up to work to Friday, be like, hey AJ, do you want to come with us? We're gonna go beat up some nerds in NXT. And he slapped Carl Anderson before Carl could say otherwise. The reason they're in NXT is because AJ got slapped Carl Anderson on Friday, and they time traveled back to Tuesday to do this angle. I'm never going to stop making that joke because it's always going to pop me.
it's great.
So because AJ doesn't need the OC anymore because he's heel and wouldn't therefore want two guys who are obviously okay with doing heel work because of what they're doing in NXT right now. So AJ Styles doesn't want two goons who will take pinfalls for him and beat up his enemies.
Correct.
He wants to do this alone because reasons. So he got rid of them, and they time traveled back to Tuesday to do this angle where they are now coming for the tag team titles by beating up the new number one contenders. Just kidding. No, they're not. And also the team that they beat up, that they beat as well. So, yeah.
There's been productive uses of talent coming down from the main roster to NXT.
Yes.
I hope there's a very clear plan with them because this feels weird. Like, is it going to be like, is this a stand and deliver match? Like, what is?
They say in a later interview, we're here as long as we want to be, and we're coming for the tag team titles. So Chase you, that's fine. We didn't like going to school. I was never a good student. And then they say Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker, unlike Big Papa Pump and the Dog Face Gremlin, maybe we'll be your actual heroes. Blah blah blah. This little interview they do in the parking lot is really good. And honestly, it's the best mic work and most energy I've seen out of these two guys maybe ever in WWE, which is like speaks well for the future. If they're actually going to take this seriously, that's good. But also, what the hell were you doing every other time I saw you do anything? The joke had been for years during their first run before they left AEW and Japan and came back here again, it was just literally you could see Luke Gallows just collecting a paycheck behind his eyes, and that's it. Like that was all it was. And if they're actually going to work, come down here and be because Braun and Baron are I think Baron's going up with Braun. I think he is. But if just Braun goes up, you break up that team. You don't have like a big bruising heel team for any of the baby faces to chase. Them winning the tag belts and then all the other younger teams chasing makes sense. And I know for a fact that especially Carl Anderson, but also Luke Gallows, have it within them to be a really great addition to the NXT roster. When they first showed up, I was like, oh my God, these guys have been phoning it in for years. But this promo made me think maybe they're not going to phone it in. So maybe we'll see.
I just, it's not even them that my skepticism is. It's we've seen Baron Corbin come do really great work. Dijak's like the most valuable guy that doesn't hold the title. But we also saw Apollo Crews come say the same thing. I'm here for real. And then he had some good matches, but it was mostly Commander Aziz, and then he got drafted and we haven't seen him since. So it's more that, like, I hope there's plans in place for them, because they deserve to have direction at the very least. I would argue probably all on-screen talent does. So I don't know.
People are saying maybe it is Tama Tonga who's the thing, and then they all reunite. Some Bullet Club OG stuff in NXT.
Oh, Tama Tonga with the Good Brothers kind of thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's not bad.
So, Thea Hale and Horse Girl are sad. Horse Girl is very sad because her two former best friends, why do they have to fight about it? I don't understand. I don't know. It's wrestling. I don't understand why my two friends who are wrestlers are fighting each other. It's weird. And then Thea Hale's there's like, huh, you sad too, huh? I'm sad about boy stuff. But here's the deal. I'm watching this, and I can't repeat because I don't know all of it, but like the dialogue that they give her is nothing special. But the way she delivers it is very natural, very subtle. Talking about like how she screwed everything up with Riley, and she's really sad and everything like that. And now like the only thing cool in my life, I guess, is that Mr. Chase and Duke are the number one contenders, but then they got beat up by the OC. So I don't know what's going on there. And Mr. Chase, maybe he deserves it. Don't get me started on him. But like the way it's all very natural. And I'm watching it going like, why are you insisting this woman behave like a coked up chipmunk every time she's on screen? She's a really good actress. Let her do this at least 35% of the time. Because this is the first time that I've ever looked at her and gone, okay, well, she might have something here as far as a performer goes, because it's like she commits to the bit. But I'm not saying I respect her for committing to the bit with the coked up chipmunk thing. But it can't sustain a character. It can't sustain an actual arc of a wrestling character. It could be a crazy thing you could do as a bit, but an actual character arc needs things like this to sustain it. And I was really pleased by what I saw here and from Fallon. And
Fallon was great in this too.
And the fact they're like, hey, maybe we should be friends. And they go off together. Like, this is a cool deal. Like, I'm honestly, I have more expectations for this little pairing than I ever did for Jacy Jayne and Thea Hale, because of you just have to dress in sexy leather, and that is how you can be a woman. And that was the thing they were doing with Jacy Jayne, and I was like, that's not going to be a thing that goes anywhere. This could be, because at least I know these women are behaving like actual human beings.
Yes. Loved a lot of what we got here as well. What you were talking about reminds me, we've had this conversation a lot on the show, of like gimmick versus character, where like gimmick can patch you from week to week, but character stuff, this is dominant. Like, you need some of it in there so that there's some sort of through line in who you are and how you operate in this world. And we got that from Thea tonight. It was really good. I hope we get more of it. This is also, I think this is going to be good for her. Like, if Duke Hudson stops carrying around his trophy and they end up being tag champs or whatever, or are actually a team, and we kind of peel away from this stuff, like, I would like to see Duke Hudson as an actual wrestler. I would like to see Thea Hale as an actual human being, as an actual woman in her early 20s, not somebody who gets treated like a middle schooler. And like that, what I liked is, like, what happened is stuff that's happened to people. Like, I've been frozen out of friend groups before. It sucks. Like, that's a terrible feeling. And I've made friends because of getting frozen out of friend groups and stuff. Like, there's actual human elements to it, which is really refreshing.
Yeah.
And Fallon's come a long way, man. She's gotten a lot better in the ring. She looks a lot more comfortable, and she did really well in this too. So this was really good, and I'm excited to see where it goes, because even for the people that love like the constant pep rally version of Thea Hale, it is nice to have at least another dimension there, right? Like it can't be the same thing week over week. But then again, there are people that like House of Torture in this world. So
Right.
and Jeff Jarrett and Judgment Day.
So yeah, I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Horse Girl has nothing to do after you had her be the one to send Tiffany Stratton out of NXT, the former champion. And they were like, well, I'm just sad for my friends who are fighting. You got nothing, like you specifically chose her to be the one to send former NXT Women's Champion Tiffany Stratton out of NXT. And you built on that with, I honestly don't know. So if this is something that comes out of this, fine. But there are no tag titles to go for in NXT. So, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not sure where this pairing goes for her, but I guess
would be nice. Would be nice if they traveled between brands. It's not like they ever get defended on a freaking pay-per-view. So,
I mean, I think you're being a little unrealistic there, but okay.
Like they just don't ever get defended though. So
no, you are right. You are right about that. Lash Legend defeated Kelani Jordan. This was good work from both of them.
Lash Legend's come a long way too, man.
She's come a very long way. Good for her. She was the worst kind of green you can be. Unsafe.
Yeah.
And she has gotten a lot better in that department, and that's really good. So
it's heavily pushed. Like she was just so she has so much upside that I understand the temptation to have her on screen so much. Because she's very charismatic and cool. But now the in-ring is catching up with that, and that's awesome to see.
Yeah. Then after Lash beats her, Kiana James and Izzy. Is it Izzy Dame?
Izzy Dame.
Dame James? So James Dame. James Dame. The James Dames. They're the James Dames. Both of them are Dames, and the leader is James, so they're the James Dames. The James Dames come out and they try and attack Kelani Jordan because they don't like her for a reason, I'm assuming. But
they're just running roughshod on everyone. They were like, "Give me your coffee. I don't like you, Kelani Jordan."
Yeah, exactly. They're just bullies. They're bullies. So after Kelani loses a match to a heavy hitter like Lash Legend, they come out and attack her, but she avoids them and runs away to, like as you should. If it's a 2-on-1, you've just being beaten up by Lash Legend. That's
smart baby face.
So that is considered a win. So good for her.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the night, Lyra told Tater that she had a surprise for her if she waited for her backstage and did not come out to the ring for her match with Shotsy. And Tater was surprisingly okay with that, just being told that. See, the thing is, I try and do that with my daughter sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If you're good, I have a surprise for you. And all that means is for the entirety of the time that she's supposed to be being good, she just asks me what the surprise is.
Yeah.
So that kind of defeats the purpose of asking her to be good, because being good is not, what's the surprise? What's the surprise, Daddy? What's the surprise? Because part of being good is you being quiet. So yeah, it's tough. It's a tough one.
You just dangle a surprise out there, and
so
it's on you.
Lyra versus Shotsy barely gets started, and then Shotsy hurts herself, and it was supposed to be right where they go to commercial, and they showed us in picture the doctors coming out and checking on her, and they had Ava come out after the commercial and say, well, we promised this crowd a women's title match, so we are going to have a women's title match. It is now an open challenge. The first woman who comes out of that door is your challenger, and it is Lash Legend, because she literally had the match before this. So I actually liked the idea of, well, it's a title shot I'm taking, even though it's not like she spent that much energy beating the hell out of Kelani Jordan.
And she won. So
And she won. So yeah, I'm going to take this title. Also, she's the closest woman who's in her gear to be there. And earlier in the night, the interview with Roxanne Perez, she was like, I have been trying like for a year to get back to having this one-on-one title match, and Shotsy just comes in from the main roster and steps over me to get it. I'm mad about it. Yeah, I'm pissed. So they show her, and I really liked this touch. She obvious wet hair, drying her hair in the locker room as all the other women are gathered around a television going, she goes, what's going on? Where's Shotsy? No, Shotsy got injured. So Ava came out there and said it was an open challenge, and Lash answered it. And she takes the TV and throws it on the ground. Like all those little videos people show you of people being mad and watching.
Eddie Kingston threw a TV at Jericho.
Yeah, that was good. I do remember that.
It's like your dream.
So they ran an angle out of this that makes sense, because I still believe the plan was Roxanne versus Lyra, finally one-on-one, stand and deliver. I think that was the plan. I think you could easily have gotten to that point by not out and out turning her into a vicious heel who will stop at nothing, even breaking people's bones to get what she wants.
In TVs.
She can be correct about all of everything she's saying without doing it the way they're having her do it. So
no, that's what's so great about Drew.
Yeah,
like that's what I've loved about the Drew main roster heel run. I'm like, yeah, I get why that guy thinks that way.
Yeah.
I've always kind of felt like part of what happens in the NXT creative, all the stuff that's not for us, is an instance of it oftentimes being overbaked. And this makes me feel validated in that in a way, because I'm like, right. You had no time to do this, and all of it made way more sense than 90% of what is on the show. It was born out of pure desperation. Now they did also have a week. This was a taped episode, right? So maybe they did have some time, but just sucks about Shotsy. Like the rest of what came out of it, though, Lash being sent out there was smart. Commentary did a really good job on that too, of Vic Joseph being like, she's warmed up, she's ready to go. Like instead of the story of, she just wrestled, I'm super fatigued. Like it wasn't that long of a match. That was kind of a nice tune-up to see what you could do with the champion.
Yep.
Only thing about this is, and it's a bummer because I think Lyra's really good in the ring. The finish on this, whatever was supposed to be from the top rope, just didn't hit right. That could have just been a she foot slipping or something. It was just weird. But
Lyra, it looked to me like her head wasn't in it for the entirety of the stuff with Lash.
Probably
because of the Shotsy thing.
Shotsy. Yeah,
like would be with anybody. So it's tough. But yeah, she's
especially
her
on such a weird one, because that was just a weird injury. Like
that's a weird one. Yeah. Really, it's really Brian says, sending love to Shotsy. She's genuinely one of the nicest people I've met. I'm glad they aired the match tonight because it started off great, but I had flashbacks of the Tegan and Rhea Mae Young Classic match because you knew something tragic was coming. Yeah, that was bad because like the Tegan Knox one was really, really like it was hard to watch because like she was just so damn emotional about it.
Yeah.
Like she kept trying to stand on it. Like I could be okay. I could do this. And she just couldn't. So
no, she was just like trying to will herself through. Tegan was. It's tough, man. Like wrestling is.
It is
fucking brutal. It just is. It just is.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Oh, well, hold on. Yeah, we were that one. Luis just wants Carl Anderson versus Noam Dar in the Heritage Cup. And I feel
Luis
like
is like a Bullet Club stand. I appreciate it. Like these Bullet Club.
Yeah,
I don't have like a strong opinion on the Good Brothers one way or the other. And Luis is like, I'm in on them. So good for him. God bless.
Yeah. Jamber says if they give Beej his Journey song, then push him to the moon. Well, they'd have to if they're spending that kind of money on it.
Yeah,
they would have to. Yeah. So they
no NXT talent is
Right.
That's got to be up there with Final Countdown as far as what you would shell out for it.
Yeah. Jim Beard says first Kate had potato internet. Now she's got a giant potato dog. Kate's favorite drink must be vodka.
It is not not much of a drinker in that way, but I do have potato internet and a potato dog for sure.
Luis
and I'm vegan, so a lot of potatoes most of my life.
Luis says he's not a Bullet Club guy; he's a Carl Anderson guy.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, all right. Here we go. Some more puns. Well, Jim Beard says, "Hey, it's Abaddon," but I'm not sure what that is reference to. Was it? Oh, because of the face paint. For when
Jonathan was on.
Yeah. ENR says SRS supports SGS Discord.
Does he? Does he?
Jambeard says, I hear SRS cooks his steaks in pickle brine.
Probably
does. Chris Perez says Max Caster Troy.
Nicely done.
Chris Perez says James Bond. Ellsworth Bond. James Ellsworth Bond. Jambeard says Technotron 2000.
Very nice. Thank you.
And not Howard the Duck, but
Howard the Duck.
Hudson the Duck. Andrew Dekoff says Suburban Commander. Electric Mayhem says Die Harwood 2. Die Harwooder. And First Blood match. Like a First Blood match.
Oh, very good. I get you.
Nate Norman says 21 Jump Street Profits and the Thin Red Velvet line. Electric Mayhem says Road Dog House, Bullet Club Train, Old Young Boy. That's very funny. Instead of old boy, it's old young boy. Young boy could be. I don't know. Electric Mayhem says Schwarzenegger as Commando with a K. No, like Commander.
Okay, I'll take it.
And Brody Kingsman.
Very nice.
Electric Mayhem says the Hollywood Atomic Blondes. Miami Lola Vice. ENR says 21 Jump Street Profits. NYPD Blue Meanie.
Very
nice. NYPD Blue Meanie. Ember Moonlighting. K Bills says Fast Xplex. Hobbs and Shaw and Michaels. Hobbs and Shaw and Michaels. Very Starship good. Pain Troopers. The Air Raid Crash. Redemption. Air Raid Crash Redemption. Rambo First Blood Match Part 2. Point Braun Breaker. White House of Black Down. The Riley Osborne Identity. And for the big finale, The Rock. Thank you, K Bills.
Very nice. Thank you for all those.
Very good. All right. Okay. We have 3 here. All right.
All you, because my girl went to the main roster. Womp womp.
Louisville says Ghost of Dusty Rhodes sings Danger Zone. Okay. Right. Let's see if he's here. I'm not sure if he's here. I'm always here, baby. I'm not going nowhere.
Hey, Dusty.
All right. I've got to sing Highway to the Danger Zone, Daddy. Here we go, if you will. Revving up your engine, listen to a howling roar. Metal under tension, Daddy. Begging you to touch and go. Highway to the Danger Zone. Ride into the Danger Zone. Heading into twilight. Spreading out of wings tonight, Daddy. She got you jumping off the deck and shoving into overdrive. Highway to the Danger Zone. I'll take you right into the Danger Zone. You'll never say hello to you until you get it on the red line overload. You'll never know what you can do until you get it up as high as you can go, baby. That's right. It's a highway to the Danger Zone, if you will.
I will.
That's
Goose Maverick.
That's Danger Times, baby. Danger Times, Daddy. I'm back. Tom LaValle wants Ricky Rainbow to sing "You Could Be Mine" from the Terminator 2 soundtrack by Guns N' Roses.
Nice.
I don't know. Let's see. I'm not sure if I got to see if I can find where Ricky Rainbow is.
Can find where Ricky Rainbow is.
Yeah.
He's
Hello, I'm here.
Hey! Hello, Richard.
It's me. Hello. Why is everything going wrong? Stop it.
What's wrong, Ricky?
No. Why? No. Okay, here we go. That's much better. I'm a cold heartbreaker, fit to burn, and I'll rip your heart in two, and I'll leave you lying on the bed. I'll be out the door before you wake. It's nothing new to you, because we've seen that movie too. Because you could be mine, but you're way out of line. With your bitch slap rapping and your cocaine tongue, you get nothing done. I said you could be mine. Oh, now holidays come and they go, and there's nothing new today. Connect a lot of memory when I come home late at night. Don't ask me where I've been. Just count your stars, I'm home again. 'Cause you could be mine, but you're way out of line. With your bitch slap rapping and your cocaine tongue, you get nothing done. I said you could be mine. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ricky.
Ian R says because of Alex's ghostly internet, Ricky Rainbow does Ghostbusters.
Do you know that movie?
The Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yep, I remember when we made it, all of us. I remember.
You were in it?
I was supposed to be the other Ghostbuster, the fifth one. There were four. There was supposed to be a fifth one. I was there. We shot all of my scenes, but then at the end, I punched Bill Murray in the face, and he got me fired.
Oh no! Why'd you do that?
Well, he stole my cocaine.
Oh, I mean,
If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. If there's something weird and it don't look good, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost. Take it, Dusty. If you're seeing things, but who your head, Daddy? Who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. An invisible man sleeping in your bed. Ow, who you gonna call? Ghostbusters. I ain't afraid of no ghost. I ain't afraid of no ghost, mostly because I am one.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
All right.
Did Ricky Rainbow summon you here?
I can talk to people who've passed on to the other side.
You're a medium? Ricky Rainbow in his medium era.
Well, no, I'm actually a double extra large, but yes, no, I can talk to people who go to the other side.
Ricky,
but,
you know what I meant.
No, we talk. I talk to Dusty all the time. He's a good bloke. I like him a lot.
He is.
Yeah.
What do you think of his son? Do you know he has a son?
No, Dustin. No, the natural Dustin Rhodes. He's all right as well. Yeah.
That's exactly who I was referring to. So.
Yeah. I don't know of any other person you could be referring to.
Not me. Couldn't be me.
Yeah. So, all right. Well,
are you going to Elimination Chamber?
Elimination Chamber? No.
Nice Australian accent.
Yeah, no, it's very similar to the way I talk, but only in that particular vowel sound. But yeah, no, I'm not going. No, are you kidding me? That's too early for me. I'm not getting up that early.
I would have just assumed you would have like partied through the night and just gone, but
no, not anymore. I can't do it anymore. All those uppers and downers, it plays hell with my. I don't want to end up like this guy. Dead. You don't want to end up like me if you take too many uppers and downers. It's terrible. No, but I'll be in Elimination Chamber. I'm going to watch my boy Cody Rhodes do a bunch of nothing. Sitting there talking to some Australian with Seth Rollins.
With who?
Seth Rollins.
Okay.
Anyway, I'm gonna sign off now.
Okay, thank you for coming by again, Dusty.
I'm gonna go to the great beyond.
Okay.
Ricky, come back over here and do your thing.
So he just like hangs out in Alex's house, I think. He's like, I'm going to the great beyond, but like that's just like somewhere else in Alex's
That's what I call the kitchen to go make myself a snack.
Got it. Okay.
Anyway, keep cool, gabagoos.
Toodles.